So we're just going to have a little chat over our experiences in Font so far, just to explain back to the group kind of the environment, how you've changed things. Obviously, as being a young athlete coming on a trip like this, it's quite a big experience for Harry. How do you describe kind of your initial few days here?
I think it's obviously a big change to being at home. Seeing a lot of the athletes function, being here and seeing other people function can be quite different to, especially my experiences at home, when a lot of the time I'm training at home with work not allowing me to get to sessions and things. But I think the experience has been unbelievable, really. I've learned so much from being here, and I'm just happy I can share it with other people.
Yeah. So obviously you've been running for a while, but probably seriously for maybe only a year and a half. Coming somewhere like Font Romeu when you're 18 can be quite a big step up to kind of home, like training in the northeast, and then coming here and you've got kind of Olympians running around the track and stuff, and got a nice group of Brits out here to kind of link up with as well, who are really helped, haven't they, as well? What would you say the three biggest takeaways are in terms of changing from your training environment in the northeast compared to your training environment here?
I think the biggest three takeaways in general are there's more emphasis on recovery. With being at altitude, your body takes a little bit longer to recover as it is anyway. So having better recovery, better nutrition, a better strength and conditioning program is actually huge here, because you need that strength and you need that recovery to build onto your sessions. Otherwise, you're just going to end up injured and you're going to end up
in the bin.
In the bin, yeah. And I've been there.
Have you been in the bin already?
I've been in the bin on the first day we got here.
Yeah, altitude can have that weird effect where some days you just feel a little bit off, because it's hard to quantify the training load compared to home. Like an easy run at altitude is quite tough on its own compared to just an easy run at home. 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 feet, depending on where you drive to. That's the other thing. Some locations are 7,000 feet, some locations are near 5,000 feet, so that differs. But what would you say? These things you could do at home, but what do you think stopped you doing these things at home in terms of like nutrition, time management, fitness, and seeing recovery?
As silly as it might sound, I do think that the environment around you plays a massive factor into fitting things in. If you are at work, for example, I work late on a night, so sometimes I'll start work at 5 o'clock. So sometimes if I'm in the day, I'll look at the time, I think it's 5 o'clock, it's almost 5 o'clock. I've got till 5 o'clock to get all these things in, and that's already a mental thing of, do I have time to fit it in? Is already a negative. Rather than waking up and just going, I need to get this done, so I will get this done, then you will find the time. I think it's just all perspective on the way that you look at things, and that's been a huge changer for me.
It's like a mindset shift, isn't it?
Huge mindset shift.
I mean, you've got triathletes out here who are training. There's a cyclist going by down there. He's probably been out 10 hours. Like they're training all day, 3-4 different separate sessions, eating in between, sleeping in between, and it's more like a job, but in a fun way, I guess. The way they treat the day.
Yeah, I imagine that there is days where it gets a bit tedious, but it's the same with everything. Really, you just have to get it done.
Yeah, well, I'm sure a lot of athletes wake up and don't want to do some things, but the environment brings that out. So let's go into some other stuff, maybe some specifics about your training, like how is your training specifically changed in terms of like your sessions and things? Have you able to get more quality out here? Have you had to adapt because of the altitude? What things have you had to change in the week?
So the first week that we're here, it was very hot, around 30 degrees. Training in that is obviously hard when you're altitude, when you're struggling to breathe and you're very hot. So taking a lot of water on board, drinking more, you want to eat more. But breathing wise in sessions, that obviously gets harder when you're up here. And as another thing, you just have to remind yourself to go effort based when you're up here, because if you constantly chasing a pace to hit, then you are going to struggle, because if you can't hit the pace and you just can't hit it, it's better off just saying, if you're a 5k runner, I need to hit this 5k effort, the intensity that I would want to run the 5k at, than saying, this is the pace I need to do it at, and if I don't do it, then it's a failed session. And something that I've applied here that I've not applied at home before is there might be a day on a Thursday where you wake up and think, I've got a session to do today, but I actually don't feel too good. So let me push it back till tomorrow. That's not a weakness to push your session back a day. In fact, it's more of a strength, because you want to get the most out of yourself rather than just giving what you can give. You want to give everything, get the most from the session. So pushing the session back a day changing the days. I used to do Mondays, Wednesdays, but now I'm doing Tuesdays, Fridays because I need that recovery time in between. But I mean, everybody's different.
Sometimes it's hard to do that at home, isn't it, when you're on a schedule of work and things?
Yeah,
But ultimately, we all can if you want to fit it in, right?
indeed. I've thought a lot about it. I've done a lot of note taking about it. Of what can I take back home? How can I take it back home? And why wasn't I doing it at home? You have to be kind of honest with yourself, because if you're not, well, then no one else is going to hold you accountable.
Very true. What about the S&C side? Have you learned some things about that? Because you've went from doing, well, maybe not so much.
I'll be honest.
And why were you not doing so much?
I think mentally it's a weird thing that sometimes you don't want to wake up, you don't want to be sore. You know you've got to run and you don't want to run on sore legs. But if you don't run on sore legs, you're never going to not have sore legs, is what I've learned from being up here. You're never going to get stronger running on hills. You're never going to hold your form for longer if you don't do them things. So I've learned a lot about getting that in. Even if it's just 10 minutes of core a day and 2 heavy lifting sessions a week, 3 heavy lifting sessions a week, depending on what you can manage. That's really important for everything. I mean, if you don't do the S&C properly, then your sessions aren't going to get too much better, because you might get running fitness better, but you're not going to get strength-wise better. Your form's going to kind of stay the same, and if anything, that's just wasted energy. So you need to get them in the same way that I need to get them in, because I neglected them too.
I mean, every time we go to the gym on a night, you got Abdi, Farrow is in there every day.
Yeah.
Who else? Jimmy Gressier. It's busy. The times when you would normally strength train, everyone's in.
But one of the things that's really stuck in my mind is hearing a story that Mo Farah turned around to somebody in the UK and said, "How do you expect to run fast if you've got a weak core?" I mean, that kind of hit me, knowing that I have a weak core. So I've been getting proactive with that and getting it done.
Feel violated.
I do.
Cool. What about some of the things that we talked about? How are you going to implement? Obviously, we can't replicate the altitude. Sorry, can't replicate the altitude at home. But what can you take back when you do go back into your normal environment? Because obviously we talk about all these things, but there's people listening to this video thinking, well, I can't come here next week. So how are we gonna change that?
I think it's the mindset that I need to take back with me, and I would advise people to try and shift towards, to have productive training. Because when you're on a training camp, it's obviously harder not to train hard than it is to train hard. You're in the place to train, you know you're here to train, and you see people training, the people around you are doing well, so you want to do well too. But when you're at home, when you're on your own, sometimes it's easy to get into a mindset of, this is really hard, there's nobody watching, maybe I could slow this down a little bit, but it's not beneficial for yourself. I mean, realistically, it's not going to help you. So the thing that I'm going to take back with me is, I would like to be in a constant mindset of, I'm on a training camp, I'm always building for something, and everybody's always building for something. So if you can train like you're building for something, train like you want that thing, then you are automatically going to train better. I think another thing that's huge, especially for me, is the group work. If you don't work in a group and you constantly work on your own, I mean, obviously it's got its positives and its negatives, but whilst being up here, we've met some English lads, as Kieran said earlier. But when you can run with other people, when you can see them working hard, you automatically want to work hard. So taking that back, working in a group, working with people who have the same mindset as you, who also want to achieve very similar things to you, is hugely important.
I mean, it's stuff we try to recreate at NEP. I think we don't utilise it as much as we can.
Yeah.
I see where we can improve on that, and we're always trying to influence that. When people come on these training weekends and camps and things that we do abroad, people open their eyes and they can take it back, and those develop as athletes very quickly. It's almost been like a bit of a crash course for you, I think, the last couple of weeks.
Well, I do think it's very easy for me to sit here and say all these things to people who might not have had this experience yet.
Yeah.
But honestly, I can't stress enough that they are massively important. And there's one other thing that's not necessarily about taking it home with me, but I just think it's hugely important. And I'm not just saying this because he's holding the camera. I do think the most important thing in anybody's training, whether you can be in a group, you're not in a group, whether you have the right mindset or not have the right mindset, honestly, just listen to Kieran. Because spending so much time with him, seeing the work that he puts into the club, has made me kind of realise as an athlete that he actually wants the best for everybody in the club. It's not a case of he wants the best for him, he wants the best for the club. And he would happily, and it seems that way to me, sacrifice some part of his own training, his recovery, to make sure that other people in the club, the other athletes, can achieve what they want to achieve, because he gets enjoyment out of making you the best that you can be. So if you don't listen to the plan, if you're a bit on the edge of the plan, which I've been myself, then you're not really giving 100%. And I can see the frustration from Kieran's side of maybe you could be doing a bit better, because I could be doing a bit better. So something I really want to stress to everybody is listen to Kieran, talk to Kieran. Like, he's there to be used. So that's all I'm going to say really on that one. Just stick with him, because he wants the best for you.
We're all a team, aren't we? And my results, your results, the team's results are all part as one. We train, we're all one team striving to be better. And there's some people on the fringes of that who I look at and I know can be so much better. And it's good to see people like yourself, Harry, like come on this journey. And you're very early into your career. You've only been a year and a half. When there's some people only been here weeks and months. So, but how much you put in, you could be a lot better in a year. Like the same person can have a very different experience over the course of a year.
Yeah.
But have equal opportunity. So it's about using those opportunities, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But we win together, lose together. And it's just about developing a really good culture, which I do feel we have had in the last couple of months. And we want to get more people involved on the fringes in the club, involved in that as well. And we'll do this camp next year. And we've got Portugal in November. We've got races abroad, Barcelona, Athens. We've got training weekends at the UK, because I know some people can't get out of things like this. And there's sessions every day that we're willing to put on.
I can't stress enough that if you can make one of them, if you can only make one of them things, or you can make all of them things, just go and do it. If you don't know what to expect from it, there's only one way to find out, and it's not sitting and watching the other people doing it and then going, oh, I probably wouldn't have liked it, or I would have liked it. It's just to get yourself there. The worst case scenario is you spend a bit of money and it's not what you expected. But I can guarantee you, I've been on training weekends and I've obviously taken a massive step and come into Font, that you can't really expect something that you don't get here, because it is what it says on a tin, really. So if you can make it, make it.
Worst case scenario, you end up in the bakery and have to, suffer through that. And
suffer through a nice strawberry pistachio pastry.
And you got to look at these awful views every day. It's just, it's not good, is it?
I mean, for me, there's a couple of things I'd like to say. I understand it can be tough when you're training. I understand that it can be quite difficult, but just stick with it, because there's been times up here that I've learned a lot about myself, really, that in some of the longer sessions that I personally struggle with.
Moderate.
Longer stuff that I struggle with, it's easy to fall into the mindset of going, this is really hard, I really need to slow this down. But if you can stick it through, then you can...
Well, there's 5 other lads going around the lake with you, or over the other side doing their session in the same place.
Exactly. And
it's
then
a bit
you
easier.
run past somebody that you've seen on TV, you run past somebody you've seen in the Diamond League, and it's like, they're working just as hard as I am, but relatively.
No, they make it look easy, don't they?
They do make it look easy, which can be frustrating, I won't lie to you.
When Abdi goes along at 5:20s.
Yeah, and it looks like a 6:30 kilometre. It's like, oh, goodness gracious.
But on that note, we'll leave it there, and we'll enjoy our last few days here, and hopefully taking some good fitness into Cardiff 5k for you next, Harry.
For me.
And junior, Great North 5k, not quite
5K.
Junior. And then Great North Run for myself. But so many races for the team coming up, cross country as well, and on the verge of a lot of marathons as well. So it's a very exciting time, and no time to waste really. We need to make the most of every single day.
It is.
Cool.
Big time for the club.
Thank you, Harry.